Hello. Welcome. Bottom of the bounce. I know it's been 84 years since I recorded anything, but like I told you before, if there's nothing to say, there's nothing to say. And there hasn't been a lot to say. However, I have gotten some messages with some questions. So even though I don't have a huge, great update, I thought I would go ahead and answer the questions because the more I thought about it, the more valid they were. So they tend to revolve around the job I have now. And the fact that I have mentioned that I was told to get said job and it hasn't behooved me. And so I'm being asked, well, then why'd you take the job? You know what? That's fair. So picture it. 1796. No job. Lost the studio. Starting over in the hometown. We needed to make money now. I didn't have a lot of time to start and build a business, which takes time. And so, I get that. So, then we realized we have to file for bankruptcy, which I thought was going to be a little more helpful than it is. I didn't realize it was going to be another big bill. And so that attorney and some other people were like, Robin needs to get a job. Robin needs to get a job. Robin needs to get a job. Why doesn't Robin have a job? Robin needs to get a job. Robin can walk to work. Robin needs to get a job. Because we have one car. So there was resistance in the beginning because I knew I needed to put full time into making my photography business start again. A. B. There was one car and my husband's on dialysis 3 days a week in a town 2 towns away. And so how is he going to do that if I was at work with the car? I really could not wrap my brain around how logistically this would work. Also, he was in the hospital all the time. He goes through spurts where he is in the hospital a lot. And so I couldn't figure out how I was going to be missing work to get him to the hospital. Like, I was just picturing no car, having to miss work, getting fired, like all the worst scenarios. So for the record, no, I haven't missed work because he's had to go to the hospital. We've made it work. It hasn't been easy. There's been at least one time where he drove all the way to get me to work so I could drive him to the emergency room because that was the only way we could make it work. I didn't have the money to Uber all the way home because it's rather expensive to Uber all the way from there to here. So yeah, it's been hard. He's in the car about 4 hours a day on dialysis days where he has to drive me to work, drive to dialysis, go pick me up from work, and then we drive home. It is not easy on him at all. Also, mind you, he's at home alone with no way to get anywhere on the days that he doesn't have dialysis, right? He's just at home stuck alone. And so that also is really hard on him. I knew those things before I got a job. I knew all of those things were going to be hard, but I also, you hear it all the time, especially living in Texas. Like, if you don't have any money, go get a job. Why don't you go get a job? And I couldn't argue that fact then. So I did. I went and got a job. And I did apply for jobs that were nearer to me. I applied and applied and applied, and the one that called happened to be one of the 2 that were further away. And it was going to be okay because what it said I was going to be making made it okay because it was going to cover the bills and I could do everything else on the side. What I didn't know is that was a lie. What they say you're going to make ain't what you're going to make. Nobody makes it. It's not just that I suck at this job. Nobody makes it unless maybe they're getting paid a salary or something. No. And so that was not truthful at all. So suddenly I'm in a job that doesn't pay the bills. We still only have one car. Now I'm running my one car into the ground. But there's always a good side. It's got great benefits. So should something happen to me, there's good benefits. The other thing is then you're in a catch-22. I cannot exactly just up and quit because now I've spent almost a year not being able to promote photography because I'm gone from the house 11 to 12 hours a day, inconsistent hours. So it's not like I can figure out how to do before or after work. No, we don't get a lunch hour. That also wasn't talked about. So there's no, I'm gone all the time. So it's very hard to really start and promote and actively do the business model that I have for my company. And I haven't figured that out. It's been almost a year and I still haven't figured it out. And I haven't even figured out how to figure it out. It just hasn't happened yet. So no, a lot of misleading things happened with this job, or not a lot, but the money was definitely misleading. I was not realizing how much time I was going to be away from work. I thought there would at least be a lunch hour where I could call my people back and I could schedule things and I could, do some marketing type stuff. I didn't realize it was going to take me out of all of my networking. It was going to take me out of all of the art shows that I was doing. I didn't realize that because honestly at the time I was just thinking I needed to get a job and everybody was telling me that's what I needed to do, and I couldn't say they weren't right. Because you know what? If I was making what the ad says I would be making, I would be okay. I'd be okay. I wouldn't be as stressed as I am now. But that wasn't accurate at all. So now I'm in a position where the job isn't paying the bills and I have to do something else, but I don't have time to do something else. And it might be more stressful than it was before I had the job. I am definitely making less money than I was before I got this job. So question number 2, if it's so bad, how come you don't just quit? Also a valid question. Because I can't. I have no photo sessions booked to make up the money that I would lose, and it's a minimal amount of money. Actually, I was doing something with ChatGPT. And another idea that I'm not ready to spring on you yet. And hey, would this work? Would this be profitable? Break these things down, break this down. And ChatGPT took it upon itself to take my income and the distance and divide it all up onto and hey, this is what you're making at this job. So I will straight up tell you what I'm making at the job, because I know question number 3 is, do you just need to budget better? So let's go with number 2. What I am making at this job only what I'm bringing home, not what I'm making. So I am taking out, what gets paid to taxes. I'm taking out what gets paid to, insurance. I'm taking all of these things, so there is more, but it's going to some other stuff. But what I am bringing home after I pay taxes, insurance, and gas. Anybody want to take a guess? What I make a week after, what I bring home after I take all of those things out, but I added gas also. $360 a week. $360. Yeah. So I'm acutely aware that I just need to get a job close to home. I realize that. I need to get a job in this town because there are so many businesses that I could just walk to. There is a whole city that runs on a 4-day-a-week work week, which would be phenomenal for me. I can walk to the city offices and even have a 3-day weekend to run my business. Oh my God, I'm so aware of that. And just for the record, I have tried and tried and tried for those jobs. I would give anything for those jobs. And I guess I am not alone because I am not getting those jobs, but it is not for lack of trying. So on the why don't you just quit front, this is the hottest room in the house. I'm sweating again. However, I can't just up and quit. Yes, I realize I could get absolutely any job in this town and end up making more money. There have been 2 jobs that I've been really excited about that I thought I was going to get. Each of them was a part-time job. Each of them, with those part-time jobs, I would be making more money than I am now and more consistent money. And I didn't get those jobs. So, I trust me, I'm trying. If you know of any jobs where I live, let me know. Man, if I gave you the list of where I have looked and looked and looked and begged and tried and pleaded and everywhere, pretty much this town is saturated with me, and not as a photographer, but as a resume being sent to them. So I know that part. So that's why I took the job. On paper, that makes sense. Go get a job is something you say to somebody, you know. My God, people say it about homeless people all the time. Why don't they go get a job? Well, let me tell you, it ain't easy. And I have a home. So that's why I got the job, because that makes sense to go get a job. And everything I was really worried about, some of it's happened and some of it hasn't happened, but it hasn't ended up better than I was afraid it was going to end up, honestly. And now I'm a little stuck. Like, I don't want to go make nothing. I am so hot that my hair is sticking to me. Look, it's dripping down my face. I realize I do. So, yes, those questions are valid. No, I didn't just blindly go, this is a horrible decision, and go get a job. No, I 100% thought this was going to help take care of stuff too. I knew it wasn't the path I wanted to be on, but you know what? I also realized that sometimes you got to do this because you got to keep this to someday get back to this. And I realized that. I was worried about the car and, you know, being a caretaker. I think those are valid concerns, and it hasn't been easy on either of those fronts. I didn't take into consideration what I would actually be making. I didn't, because I believed them with what they said I would be making, and that would have paid the bills. That's the worst part. It's not that people told me to get a job. It's not that I did go get a job and made the decision to go get a job. It's not the things that I tend to just kind of say, I was told to get a job, so I did. Yes, I wish I had stuck to photography. Yes, I thought that then. Yes, it sounds better to go get a job. Yes, the things I was worried about happened. The bad thing wasn't that I went and got a job. The bad thing was actually the job I got. And I'm realizing that. Excuse me. Yes, I want a different job. Yes, I would love to quit tomorrow. Book me for all your photo sessions and I will. So that is the thing. Oh, the other thing we keep being asked is about disability. No, we don't have disability yet. Yes, we're working with another attorney. Yes, we are trying to get that going. There's nothing we aren't doing. I will say that. There is nothing that either of us are not doing that is hindering forward progress. Rich is working diligently, trying with the attorney and doing the calls and anything he needs to do. At this point, there's nothing he can do. We're just in a holding pattern. I've been told he needs to call them every single day and be the squeaky wheel. It doesn't work that way. He is calling. He's not just being forgotten. But it's not the more you call, the faster your benefits come from the government. I wish it was, because let me tell you, I'd quit my job to be calling them every 5 minutes. Yes, I would. No, we don't buy lottery tickets. Maybe we should. What else? I've been asked. Usually it's about the job. Like, people want clarification. Like, if I knew it was a bad decision, why did I go ahead and do it? And honestly, that's why. I knew it was going to be tricky. I didn't know it was going to be as bad as it became. So that is what's going on. I'm really trying to get out of this part of our situation and make things better. I really am. I feel like on this podcast, in the least, I've been saying the same crap over and over and over for too freaking long. So just know My God, we are trying to change it, but I did think I should just address those questions because I know they come up. You know what? Are you really looking for another job? Yes, I swear to you, I am. Yes, I work a 9-hour shift on my feet the entire time. I am driving an hour at least to get there. Rich is in the car for 4 hours on those days. I'm exhausted by the time I get home because I've been gone for 11 or 12 hours. Like, even doing laundry is hard to figure out because I don't have consistent days off. So I might go a whole week with no days off. And that happens about every other week where I get like almost like 3 days off because this day and this day are on separate weeks. So I won't have a day off between Thursday and Thursday. That's happening like next week, right? Where I don't have a day off. I'm working. I'm gone every single day for the entire week. 11 to 12 hours, depending on the time that I have to be there and how long I'm working. Because just because I get off at 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, because all of those hours happen when I get off, it doesn't mean I get to leave. If I'm helping a customer, then I'm there until that customer's done. So yeah, I end up on any given paycheck working between, in 2 weeks, working between 93 and like 100 and something hours in those 2 weeks. So that also contributes to being gone like 12 hours a day. But that's what you have to do in a sales job where it's straight commission. I'm not going to walk out on it. I wouldn't anyways, but you're not going to walk out on a customer. But it also means when I'm in the car, I've just done a whole freaking day and my husband's ready for his caretaker to give some care. He needs somebody to talk to, somebody to hang out with, somebody to like interact with. I, on the other hand, this is a tricky part too. I'm done peopling by the time he's ready to start peopling. That hasn't been easy either, to be honest. Like it's hard. And then I'm getting up really early in the morning so I can do stuff for Fly Hippie or, look for another job, or like all of those things have to happen at the butt crack of dawn because I can't come home and ignore him further. That's not the situation that we're in. So I am looking. I am doing all I can do. He's doing all he can do. This is why I took a job. This is why I can't quit today. This is why, why it is what it is. So, if you have any suggestions, let me know. If you are hiring for a remote work from home job, let me know. I can do that. I have the whole setup because I run a photography business from here too, or will when I have time. But I'll keep you guys posted. If you have any other questions, just message me or whatever. I really appreciate you guys. I know that the internet can be so mean. And I also realize I'm not showing up as some super cute 20-something person on video talking to you. And I just really appreciate that, knock on wood, nobody's been mean. You guys have been really supportive. You've been really kind. And I just want to thank you for that. Like, this is actually, I was warned that this was going to be a horrible experience because people are so mean, and I can't say I wasn't worried about it too. So I just thank you guys. Thanks for being so cool to me during a really wacky time. All right, I've been rambling now for 19 minutes, so I'll let you go. I appreciate you. Thank you. I hope that answered the questions. When I'm getting more, I will try to answer more. When I have some phenomenal update, I will get back to you. Surely some of the stuff I'm putting out, something will come back. Something will come back. I've thought a couple of times that we had it, and I was so excited because I knew this was going to be the change for my whole life. And it twice now hasn't worked out the way I thought it was going to work out. So cheers, night court, to hoping it works out. And I will talk to you guys soon. Mwah. Boop.